Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a quick little video on how I use Adobe Lightroom to edit my photos on iPhone. Lightroom is no doubt the best software to use for free on phones and it's just amazing. It's better than VSCO in my opinion, which I've used before. It's just fantastic for getting a professional standard of photo editing, but right on your phone and for free. What could be better, especially if you're a student? Okay, so let's get to the video. Okay, so I'm going to open up Adobe Lightroom and I'm going to select a photo of a couple of dolphins. I'm going to show you how I edited two of my photos, one's portrait and this is the landscape version. I'm just opening the light feature and I'm just editing the exposure, contrast, highlights. So I prefer to have my photos kind of more contrasted. So like I like the blacks down, I like the contrast up a little bit. And whenever I'm editing, I always zoom in a little bit on the photo just to make sure the quality is good. And then I go into colour. And as you can see here, if you change the white balance and change it to how they recommend, it goes a bit strange. So what I like to do is I just adjust the temperature on the warmer side just slightly, just to +2. And then I change the saturation, I bring that up a little bit, I bring the vibrance up. And don't forget to zoom in on the photo just to make sure the quality is good. So I just clicked on the colour mix icon and that means I can edit the individual colours. I'm just editing the hue, the saturation, the luminance of the colour. Luminance means how glowy the colour appears on the screen. So because this image is in the sea, I really want the blue to stand out and I almost want it to look green. So I've just turned the saturation up and as you can see, changing the hue makes a massive difference. So I've just changed it to more of like a green colour and I really think that makes a photo look good. And I'm just going to change the luminance, I'm going to bring that up a little bit and I'm going to bring the saturation up even more, always zooming in. And then from then I'm going to change the hue even more so it's almost like turquoise rather than a deep blue. And then here I'm just changing the darker blue colour. Now I'm actually going to turn the luminance down on this just to create a bit of contrast between the dolphins in the ocean. And you can see that worked quite well. So in the ocean there's loads of different colours on this picture. So what I'm doing is I'm just turning up the purples and pinks just to get a bit of extra definition in the white spray at the back. And it won't make much difference, but the difference it will make, I'm sure you'll notice. So as you can see there, when I zoomed in, you could see little red spots. Now those little red spots aren't just red, they're also made up of purple and pink, and that's what I'm talking about. And so we've finished editing the colours. So from here I'm just adding some effects to the image and just changing the clarity. So personally I prefer a less grainy image. So what I like to do is I like to go down to the noise reduction feature and turn this up a little bit even if my photo is super clear. By turning up the noise reduction feature, what we're doing is we're kind of smoothing over the photo a little bit. Now you don't want to do it too much, otherwise it'll look false, but you can kind of play about with colour noise reduction as that's a little bit more forgiving. And I don't know whether you can see it, but I feel it does make quite a bit of a difference. And then I'm just heading into the crop feature where I just want to make the dolphins a little bit more central. And then when you click on the before tab, you can just see what a huge difference that has made. So just changing the lighting and some of the colours just slightly has made the photo look a bit more tropical and a bit more warm, and I just love it. And that's that done. And I'm just going to edit my second photo, which is more of a portrait style, just so you get a feel for how I do that too. Now this time I've hit the auto button before I edit the light, and that's just a generally quicker way of doing things. And I'm just playing about the settings here so you get the idea. So on my portraits I actually like to have a bit more contrast than the auto accepts. So what I like to do is I like to bring the highlights up and the blacks almost all the way down and the whites up a little bit more, just to give the skin that glow. And I just did the same as I did before on this section, so I'm going to speed it up. And then when it comes to skin tone, what you don't want to do is edit the saturation, and instead just play about with the luminance a little bit and just bring it up and down and see what you like. Personally, I like the luminance up quite a lot, as I like a bit of glow to the skin on my subjects. Now when it came to editing the sky, I wasn't really sure what would look best actually. I didn't know whether high saturation, low luminance, or low saturation, high luminance would look very good. And in the end I kind of went for a high saturation and a low luminance, as I felt it made the subject stand out a little bit better on the background. I also like how warm it made the portrait look, as it was April when I took this photo. I love to use blue on my images and kind of play the blue up, because firstly, on Instagram, blue is the most noticed colour. I also think in this image in particular, the blue really contrasts the yellow really nicely. And then, as I did before, I'm going to play with the texture a little bit. If you want a kind of smooth look to the skin without having to face tune or Photoshop your photo, what you can do is turn up the colour noise reduction, as I just did. And then I'm just going to crop my image. Look what a huge difference that has made to the photo. I don't think there's any other app where you could get that level of detail and change to the photo without whacking a load of filters on and making it look unnatural, as I said. And that is why Lightroom is my absolute favourite photo editing app. If you haven't used Lightroom before, it's free on the App Store. I just think if you enjoy photography, it's worth giving it a go. Thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. See you next time.